Alright, so in this video we are going to do some more practice with our 3-digit by 2-digit multiplication. This video will be a little bit more extended. We're going to do 5 practice problems. So let's get to it. So number 1, we are going to do 476 times 93. Alright, so once again I'm going to use different colors so that we can see both our steps and our partial products. So I'm going to use red. We're going to start with our 3. We're going to multiply 3 times 6, which gives us 8. Carry our 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1, 22. And then finally, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Now, one of the things I'm seeing with several of my students is that since we are used to 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, we're okay doing those first 2 computations, the 3 times 6 and the 3 times 7, but then for whatever reason we're just stopping there. We're just forgetting that this last number exists. We've got to finish the process out by multiplying by that last number. Okay? Alright, now once again, because I'm multiplying with my 9 now, which is actually 90, I'm going to circle my 3 just as a friendly reminder, hey, I multiplied by 90 now, so I need to remember my placeholder. Okay, and then once again, we're just going to multiply the 9 by all 3 of the numbers up top. And I'm going to put a line through those numbers I was carrying just so I don't get confused. I don't want to erase them. I just want to put a line through them so that if I have to go back and check, they are there so that I can make sure that I did the problem correctly. Alright, so 9 times 6 gives me 54. Carry my 5. 9 times 7, 63, plus 5 gives me 68. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 6 gives me 42. And so, I've got my 2 partial products now. Now, if you're checking your work with a calculator, and you see that your final answer is wrong, one thing that you can do is you can go back and check your partial products individually. And the way you do that is, you just separate it into the expanded form of the problem. So we do 476 times 3 from my 3, and then we do 476 times 90. And remember, this is going to give us this partial product, and this is going to give us this partial product. And so if you're checking by calculator, that is one thing that you can do to make sure that your steps are correct and to isolate where specifically you made your error if you're not getting the correct answer. Alright, let's finish it up. 8 plus 0 gives me 8. 2 plus 4 gives me 6. 4 plus 8 gives me 12. Carry my 2. And 1 plus 1 plus 2 gives me 4. And then finally this 4 is all by itself and has nothing to add to. So sad. And so I get as my final product, my total product, 44,268. Okay. Let's do another one. Alright. So for this one, let's do 912 times 78. And that is actually my birthday. 9/12/78. Man, he's old. Alright, once again I'm going to use my different colors just to show my steps. Draw my arrows. And you can draw your own arrows if you need to. If you're going to draw arrows, though, you probably want to make a little bit more space. I'm using color, so it's pretty easy for me to see. But if it helps you to draw the arrows, rewrite the problem and just give yourself a little bit more space. That way that you can really see those arrows distinctly. And then when you come back for your second round, you can see them really distinctly. Alright? But they're a little packed in there right now, so. But I'm using red, so we'll be able to see it. Okay. 8 times 2 gives me 16. Carry my 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 8 times 9, 72. There's my first partial product. Okay. Switch to my blue marker. And I'm going to circle the 8 just as a reminder to put my placeholder in there because I'm now multiplying by 70. Not 7, 70. Okay. 7 times 2. Oh, I'm going to mark out my remainders up here too. Don't want to get confused. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry my 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then 7 times 9 is 63. And that gives me my second partial product. And I'm going to finish it up with my green and do my addition. So 6 plus 0 gives me 6. 9 times 4 gives me 13. Carry my 1. 1 plus 2 plus 8 is 11. Carry my 1. 1 plus 7 plus 3 is 11. Carry my 1. And then 1 plus 6 gives me 7. So I end up with 71,136. Again, if you find an error, just pause the video, see if you can isolate where your error is, and then backtrack. And if you need to, just back the video up to where I first start the problem, and if you need to redo it, you can redo it. Okay. All right, number 3. I think we'll use my wife's birthday this time. Hopefully she won't be mad that I'm putting her birthday up on the internet. So we're going to go 107 times 82. Yes, my wife is younger than me. It's a good little tip, gentlemen. Because that way when you're old and wrinkly, your wife is still good looking. Okay. So, go ahead and set my arrows up. Again, I'm using a red marker just so we can see the different partial products and we can very clearly see them. 2 times 7 gives me 4. Carry my 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Circle my 2 to remind me that I'm multiplying by 80 now, not just 8. Draw my blue arrows so you can see my steps. Put my placeholder down. 8 times 7 gives me 56. Carry my 5. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 8 times 1 is 8. Alright, and so then my last step is to complete the addition and add my two partial products. So 4 plus 0 is 4, 1 plus 6 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7, and the 8's all by himself out here. And so I get 8,774. Okay. For problems 4 and 5, I'm going to take the training wheels off a little bit, and I'm not going to use multiple colors. I'm just going to use my black marker, because when you guys are doing this, you're probably just using your pencil. But I did get some feedback from some students that on the first video went a little quickly on that last one. So we're going to slow down a little bit, talk through it slowly, and I'm going to create a little space when I set this problem up. That way you can a little bit more distinctly see my arrows. Alright, so let's do 473. Again, I'm going to skip a little space. There's a little bit of a gap, and you can see my arrows. I'm going to skip a little bit of space, and we're going to multiply that by 58. Alright, so I'm going to go and draw my arrows, showing you the steps. And this is a good reminder for some of you to don't forget about this last digit out here. I know a lot of you are used to 2 by 2 multiplication, and you use the bow tie method, and bow tie method doesn't go all the way out here. So we got to remember to always multiply by that last digit. Okay, so 8 times 3 gives me 24. Carry my 2. And 8 times 7 gives me 56. Plus 2 is 58. Carry my 5. Then 8 times 4 gives me 32. Plus 5 is 37. I'm still going to write partial product out here, just as a reminder that I'm not done. I'm not done. Still going to keep going. Alright, so I'm going to circle my 8 to remind me that I'm multiplying by 50. So I can put my placeholder, remember my placeholder. Write my arrows to show my steps for multiplying my 5. And I'm going to go ahead and cross out the remainders from my first set of steps. Okay. 5 times 3 gives me 15. Carry my 1. 5 times 7 gives me 35, plus 1 gives me 36. Carry my 3. 5 times 4 gives me 20, plus 3 is 23. And that gives me my second partial product. Again, if you're checking your work by using a calculator, remember when you check your second partial product to multiply 473 by 50, by 50, not by 58, or not by 5, because that'll give you, if you multiply it by 5 by accident, you're going to get 2365. Alright, so remember to multiply by 50 if you're checking your partial products with a calculator. Okay? And then final step is we're going to add our partial products. So 4 plus 0 gives me 4. 8 plus 5 gives me 13. Carry my 1. 1 plus 7 plus 6 gives me 14. Carry my 1. 1 plus 3 plus 3 gives me 7. And then my poor little 2 is all alone out here with nothing to add to it. So I end up with a total, a final answer of 27,434. Okay. Alright, for this last problem, for number 5, I'm really going to take the training wheels off. And I'm going to do this as I hope you guys will get to the point, that you get to the point where you're doing these problems like this. If you need the extra, it's okay, and I bet if you ask your teacher to use colored pencils, at least on some of your practice problems, they'd probably let you. Alright, so, number 5, training wheels are off. Here we go. 645 times 87. Man, why did this guy ever use any little numbers? It's all 6s and 7s and 9s. Hey, there's no 9 in this one at least. Alright, so I'm not going to draw the arrows this time, because normally you're not going to draw those arrows. Those are just a good reminder of your steps. We'll talk through the steps, but I'm going to write this, and everything that I write on here is what I would normally write when I'm doing a problem myself. Okay? So 5 times 7 gives me 35. Carrying my 3. 7 times 4 gives me 28, plus 3 gives me 31. Carrying my 3. 7 times 6 gives me 42, plus 3 gives me 45. Going to put my placeholder in. And I'll go ahead and circle my 7. I'll be honest, normally I don't do this step, but I know we're still working on that placeholder, so I'll give you a little bit extra. Alright, here we go. 8 times 5 gives me 40. Carry my 4. 8 times 4 gives me 32, plus 4 gives me 36. Carry my 3. 8 times 6 gives me 48, plus 3 gives me 51. And again, if you're checking your partial products with a calculator, 645 times 7, and then 645 times 80, just to check and make sure we're doing okay. 5 plus 0 gives me 5. 1 plus 0 gives me 1. 5 plus 6 gives me 1. Carry my 1. So, sorry, gives me 11. Carry my 1. 1 plus 4 plus 1 gives me 6. My poor little 5, all alone on the end, with nothing to add to. And so I get a total answer of 56,115. Alright guys, I will get more practice problems up just as soon as I'm able.